Hello everybody and welcome back to Screen Stars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2020 music comedy Bill and Ted Face the Music, a film that is directed by Dean Parisot, who's probably most well known for directing Galaxy Quest, and it stars of course Keanu Reeves as Ted, Alex Winter as Bill. We have Kristen Schaal, Samara Weaving, Bridget Lundy Payne, William Sadler returning as Death, and Anthony Carrigan as Dennis Caleb McCoy. Right, Bill and Ted are back. What do we get on this third outing of Bill and Ted? Well, Bill and Ted, it's 25 years later or there and thereabouts from the last film. Bill and Ted still haven't wrote the song that is going to unite the world. And they receive a visit from the future saying, well, basically they've got 75 minutes or something like that to write this song, or the whole world and time and it's all gonna collapse, and basically it's bad if they don't write this song. So Bill and Ted head off in the phone booth into the future to have chats with their future selves to try and find this song that they are not able to write themselves, and they hope that their future selves will have already written the song and they can get it off them in order to save all of time. At the same time, their daughters Kelly and Thea head off to try and get the ultimate band together in order to help their fathers once they get this, song from them future selves, so that they can play it with the greatest backing band of all time. However, there is another storyline running alongside this, where there are some in the future that actually believe killing Bill and Ted will solve this problem, and they send a killer robot after them called Dennis Caleb McCoy, who's not very good at his job, basically. So, are Bill and Ted able to get this song that will save all of time? Are their daughters able to put this great backing band back together to help them? And are their wives, the princesses that we saw in the second film, going to put up with them for much longer? And are Bill and Ted able to save their marriages? Whew. So there we go. There's a lot going on in Bill and Ted Face the Music. Wibbly wobbly timey wimey, as Doctor Who would say. Whoop. So what are my thoughts on Bill and Ted? Well, here's a little bit of a shocker. I'm not that big a fan of the first two films. Let me just get that out of the way. Everybody seems, I think, to look back on them films as like, whoa, brilliant, amazing films. And don't get me wrong, I have watched them films and I enjoyed them films in my youth. They're not films that I think, oh god, really need to watch Bill and Ted again. Bill and Ted's first two films. So I'm not like a Bill and Ted super fan. However, I do appreciate those two films, and I do remember particularly enjoying the second one. I thought that was quite a lot of fun. So I wasn't stupidly excited for the release of this film or anything like that. But it's been getting some pretty favourable reviews, so I thought I would check it out. And my thoughts on this film are, it's good. It's a really fun movie, and if you are fans of the first two films, you're going to enjoy this film. It gives the fans what they want. It is fun. It feels very familiar. There's some fun gags in it. My favourite part of this film was actually this killer robot that's sent after them, Dennis Caleb McCoy, who he calls himself. He was very funny, I thought. It was great to see William Sadler back as Death, who I think William Sadler was one of the producers of the film, something like that. And it was great to see Bill and Ted having these discussions with their future selves, who which doesn't go to plan at all, really. So it was great. The chemistry's still there between Keanu and Alex. One of the big questions for me was, how are they going to pull this off after so many years? You know, was it going to seem weird, these guys, you know, now in their 50s, still doing the Bill and Ted routine? And actually, no, it worked, believe it or not. You know, especially Keanu, who, you know, has been spending these last few years on this comeback trail, making these, you know, the John Wick type movies, and just knocking it out of the park as this, you know, action guy. To see him as Ted, actually, it makes you love him even more, because you know, he's prepared to go to these places still as an actor, and give the fans what they want. So you've got to love that, really, with Keanu and Alex Winter. The clever addition of Samara Weaving and Bridget Lundy Payne as the two daughters was a smart move. It brings the youth that the film needs. And they're basically almost like carbon copies of Bill and Ted, but, you know, teenage girls kind of thing. I did really enjoy that. So there was a lot of things here I enjoyed in this film. Is it perfect? No, you could probably pick plot holes in it here and there if you wanted to, but it's not one of those films where you really want to. It's one of those films that you want to go in, have a good time, and walk out the cinema with a smile on your face, and that's what you're going to get with this one for sure. So I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. It was a very, very enjoyable film. It's actually made me want to rewatch the first two, just to see, you know, what I thought of those films these days, because it's a good probably 15 years since I saw any of those films, so I will probably check those two out. But yeah, definitely this is worth checking out, especially if you're fans of the first two. It's a very, very good third addition to the franchise. So 8 out of 10 from me. I hope you liked this review, I hope you enjoyed it, and of course I will be back with more content on Screen Stars very, very soon.